You know, as an artist, I'm like, I'm maybe not inspired to write a hook, or maybe I'm not the right voice for a hook. And it's great to give, especially aspiring and up and coming artists, like a head start into what a song could sound like. When did you start taking like beats with hooks serious, and when did you? And has it been always successful for you?
I started uploading beats with hooks to YouTube, and at a certain amount of time, I noticed that people gravitated more towards the beats with hooks, because YouTube's algorithm supposedly is heavily based on retention as well.
Because if you tell people to find the niche, sometimes I think like they'll start overthinking finding it. But just as you said,
you just gotta put out content,
and then you notice, and then you go. That's
exactly.
That's how you play the game.
BeatStars, the foundation, the precedence. We flying flags in every city, global residence. And we killing off the masters. Ghetto slave driving bastards. We making hits faster than you could think. We're on the brink of revolution. All my indie music makers, here's your restitution. We got the game in a chokehold. Not paying the creators is a no-no. I got the smoke road for all the fam bam.
What's up, everybody? This is the Pay the Creators podcast. It's your host, Abe Batchon, the CEO of BeatStars. And today we're in a special place. This is the Amsterdam edition of Pay the Creators. And I got some of my friends with me, some of my friends that I met for the first time, but some of the people that I've been looking up to and watching and admiring for many years, actually. This is a conversation I've been looking forward to having. I'm really happy that these guys are here. So I got my guy, Freek Van Workum. I got Sekko. I got Accent Beats. And I got Chuki Beats here. This is a historic moment for BeatStars. I'm so inspired by all you guys' music, and just to be here in this moment, sitting with y'all, it's a dream come true. So this is the podcast. We get into it a little bit. We talk music, we talk life, talk about some controversial topics sometimes. We're here during the ADE conference, and we just got off a panel talking to a bunch of aspiring producers that just wide-eyed looking at everything that we were saying and doing. How do you guys feel after the panel at ADE right now?
Great.
Yeah.
Appreciative of the people that show up. Cool that to see the people in real life, you know. I don't know. I just felt a lot of good energy.
Same.
Yeah, it was cool. It's always like a refreshing energy every time you see other creators in the room, and the way that they were looking at you guys. Yeah, I mean, you guys don't notice it, and you guys may not know it, but there's some people in that room that you guys spoke to that you will change the trajectory of their life, and just by your actions. But first, I'd love for you guys to kind of just share a little bit of background on each one of you guys, where you come from, a little bit of background, how you started music, and let the people know and represent who you guys are. I'll start with you, Freek.
Yeah, gotcha. As far as music goes, I'm a guitarist. I started playing in a band around age 14, I guess. And at a certain point, I stopped doing that, and felt like a void. Basically, like I still want to do music, but you know, not in this group anymore. So I picked up producing, and from then onwards, gradually built into what it is now for me. Yeah,
that's cool. So you started out as a band playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And was there anybody kind of that in your family that's like exposed you to music? Was there any like early inspirations of artists or producers that you looked up to?
As far as music in the family, yeah, there was always music, you know, around the house, as in playing records,
yeah,
CDs, all the time. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's basically it.
Sekko, what about you, man? What really got you into music? Where you know, give us a little intro.
Yeah, actually, I'm also a guitar player. So from a young age, yeah, my mother played guitar as well, and yeah, she kind of told me like it would be nice if you play as well. So I'm happy she did that.
It'd be nice, or
Yeah.
she forced you?
No. But I had like some intrinsic motivation towards it as well. So yeah, and I played from like 9 years old or something, and then yeah, like when I got a bit older, guitar playing became a bit less, but I discovered producing. So FL Studio clicked immediately, and like at a certain point I combined the two, and then it was like, yeah, that's kind of my recipe, I guess, or something.
That's dope. That's dope. I think a lot of producers, and I think we've had this conversation before, is that playing an instrument is kind of like having a superpower a little bit for producers, especially like bringing in live instruments into what you're doing. You can kind of control the direction of the feel, the energy, the mood, the emotion by being able to play your own music. Accent, talk to us, man.
I'm not a guitarist or anything, and no music people in my family or anything. I'm the first one. And I started with FL Studio also when I was 12, making beats for myself because I thought I was a rapper.
Okay.
But
you thought?
Yeah,
Hey, we all been there.
You don't want to hear me rap. And after that, I just kept going, making beats. I stopped rapping. And that's how I rolled into producing till this day. That's how I did it.
Dope. Chuki, come on, man, tell us.
So I'm also a guitar player. Yeah, really. Your story was exactly my story. Started with guitar, and then I got to a point where I was like doing this Spanish classical guitar, But it was like I was pretty good at it, but I found it like boring a little bit. So then my teacher then gave me like Cubase on a little CD, and that got me started with like putting loops together or just making little guitar things. And then after that, a friend of mine introduced me to FL Studio, and then making beats, making music, and I was always like also into YouTube, and from there everything just unfolded. Yeah, man. It's crazy for me to kind of like visit a whole different country and see the same story within like all of the creators I visit and meet with everywhere I go. And we live in this. It's a luxury to be able to see what an artistic idea can turn into when you're open to collaborating with other folks. And I feel like a lot of people are so reserved and protective of their art, and they're scared to kind of like put themselves out there. You know what I mean? And even me, when I was young making music, and I was like, I don't know, man. How are people going to accept? How are people going to think? Afraid of judgment? For the most part, from what I can see, most of you guys have overcome those kind of fears of judgment. It can be intimidating. The internet can be really intimidating to like post your music because you get instant feedback, and you get like, if people don't vibe with it, you may feel a certain way. And for you guys to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put my shit out there, and I'm gonna collaborate with people all over the world, and I don't care who it is, who could share like some stories of like working with artists or like even just a beat sale from a country or a place that you never like imagined, like it blew your mind, like that first moment you're like, what the fuck, someone from this no-name place I've never heard of just supported my music and wants to collaborate with me. Did that ever hit you guys ever at any moment? For me, it did.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard like an American on my beat, it's like, oh shit,
I made it.
It's for real now, Yeah, that was like, I remember that. Yeah. Fuck, I don't remember the artist's name. There was the SoundCloud rappers.
Right.
It was fire. Yeah. Yeah. How about you guys?
My first beat sale was just in the Netherlands. Just a friend that I met online.
Yeah.
And he paid me $20 for the beat. And when that happened, I was like, damn, I can make money of this. So I started to send him more beats, but he didn't buy many then. But yeah, countries like South Korea or something like that, when I open BeatStars, you can see all the countries where your sales are from. And I see like Africa, some people just... I don't know how they pay because not everyone can buy a beat in Africa. At least that's what I find out. And yeah, it's like everywhere, like the whole world is on your feet. Like you can sell to everyone, literally.
You guys ever like trip out and think about that other person? Like, do you ever like think about like, man, what my music could actually be doing to that person in their life? Like what I could be fulfilling with my music? Do you ever think about those kind of things, that connection, more than just like that transaction?
Yeah, sometimes you see it even in, for example, when you post on YouTube, you see it in the comments for real. Like, it was so, yeah. But even further, like, oh, this music helped me through difficult times and stuff. It's, yeah, that's pretty crazy to see. Like,
yeah,
I do.
That's fucking great. Yeah, like, yeah.
There is some a little bit creepy, but I do something when I get, at least I'm not doing that right now, but I used to click on the beat sale and you can see their address.
Right.
And I just Google the address just to see where they would live somehow. I don't know
if your
why.
track isn't hard, you know where you live. Go find you, the track's white.
No, I was like, damn, someone lives there and he bought my beat.
Right.
It was just like, damn.
It's trippy, right? Like someone lives in that house that I just Googled.
I was like looking at his house. He bought my beat.
Next thing you know, you're emailing them, yo, you got a dope ass house.
I never done that, bro. Shit. I mean, I understand.
Tried it. It's fun. It's fun.
You know, it'd be super dope though. I mean, if that was the case, like, and you sold like a big ass exclusive or something like that, and you just shipped them a gift or something small, just to show show recognition to that.
That's actually fire.
That'd be dope.
That'd be dope.
Exactly.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Never thought about that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like a little gift, something to send them,
yeah.
like, you know, show some appreciation because they're investing in you and your business too. I mean, that would be cool. That would be cool. Freek, what tell me, like, do you have any stories like where you ended up like really connecting with a customer or a collaborator, someone that just fell in love with your music, and they're constantly in your email, and you felt like a need to like have to be there for that person in some way, like you developed a friendship? I don't know. Has there been any special moments between you and your?
I don't think up to that level actually.
Yeah.
But sure, there's constantly people
Right.
that are either emailing you or commenting on YouTube and
Right.
stuff like that,
Right.
reaching out to you, but not on the basis that you were suggesting.
Okay.
Actually,
I say that because, you know,
perhaps it's different for you guys. I don't know.
I guess,
yeah. You feel a sense of service, right? You feel like you know? A little bit?
yeah, I feel you though. I feel you, but I feel like
Sometimes you can't spend too much time with
it's like, yeah, bro, but it's like we all got different characters, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm also someone. Sometimes I can be like,
But you're a big face as well. Like you're in front of
yeah.
the
So
company
people,
basically.
yeah, people, you know.
So people might actually feel like more of a connection. to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it starts to feel the same way in the other direction as well, because then people are starting to send you these messages, just like you said, where it helped them get through whatever. Or like, and it's like just like I'm just looking at it like, whoa, crazy. I'm just doing my shit, and at the same time, it's blessing somebody else. And I didn't even think about that starting this.
Right.
So it being able to grow into that, and at the same time, you're then doing a service, earning money and whatever. But it's a transaction plus it's service and general. You said the word just now. You were the appreciation,
gratitude.
Yeah, the gratitude of people for what you're doing. It's like crazy. It's like a crazy mix, like perfect. things. You know,
It really is, and it's all centered around like art. You know,
Yeah.
it's all centered around the art that we make together. Man, shout out to all the dope ass artists.
shout out.
All the dope ass artists that support you guys and the rest of the community. You know, they're finishing the story, right? They help finish the story of what you started. What we were talking about, the concept of, discipline earlier. We were talking about like commitment, what it takes to be at the level where you guys are. You were just saying like maybe some people just buy a beat from Chuki just because they want to hear from him, respond to him, like get a response. But once you get to a point, where you're building such a big business, I've seen a lot of producers even actually, hire people on the team to respond to all the customer support, their support emails, or, all the inquiries that they get, because sometimes you get flooded with just, so many emails. It's hard to just kind of respond to everyone. But I want to go back to like the discipline and the commitment to what you guys have had to put in to even be able to like even sit on this chair, to be able to like be recognizable for your music, to be appreciated in that way. I think a lot of creators, they think, I started making beats today, I'm going to start uploading beats tomorrow, and I'm going to automatically find success, and have this like false reality of what it takes to be successful.
But I feel like it's like exactly like you said during the panel. If it doesn't flow naturally, I mean, of course, the discipline is like, yeah, obviously you need to have this. Not saying obviously to you, but like to people, like should have this. Like, of course, like if you want to be great, it requires discipline. But at the same time, it's not that I have to really convince myself every day to do the things I'm doing. It's just like I just do it. I'm. If you're in a place where you're thinking about forcing yourself, you're not being it. You just got to be doing it, and then it just flows naturally, just like you said.
Yeah, obscene, obsessive behavior.
Yeah, obsessive behavior with the thing you're trying to do. Yeah.
You should feel bad when you're not working. Like, at least that's what I'm feeling when I'm not working on my music.
Yeah,
Of course, you need to make time for your family, your friends, or whatever. But every time when I like skip 2-3 days, I literally feel bad.
I know for a fact that many producers feel like this. Exactly like this.
You feel some kind of pressure or something, or some guilt to yourself. Like, I could have made beats, uploaded beats, make whatever, but I'm here sitting in a cinema or whatever. And,
I had it actually when I went to university before, and like my account on BeatStars was kind of popping, and then I had to write my thesis, and it was like a full-time thing, and I didn't have time for beats that much anymore. And it really, like you said, you feel so bad, and like you wanna do that, but you can't.
I had the same thing. I also did my bachelor's shit while I already had the BeatStars, but then I ended up doing both, and actually happy that I did both. It's just like you learn a lot doing it as well. If you don't look at it like, fuck, I have to, if you don't want to do it, don't do it,
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
But if you feel like, let me just do it, it's not going to stand in the way too much, then do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been seeing you guys, Sekko, you just came to the States and was working with Anis, and you locked in the studio with him. Was that like one of your first like in-studio kind of like experiences that you had with an artist, or are you always doing that here locally too?
Really, like in studio with an artist, I guess. Yeah, it was like, but it was at his home,
right. But why I ask that is because there's a certain role sometimes a producer has to have in a studio, right? Sometimes we can't, like the producer's job is to bring the best out of that artist, right? And they have to like mold and form and be able to kind of like create a vibe or an energy of just like openness and collaboration, and let the artist process things their way. And I think I've been in studios where producers will come into a studio. You could tell they'd never been in a studio, and they're like loud as hell, and they're just like, talking everyone's ears off, and they lose that ability to like, understand their part to the creative space, their part to the creative moment. And I would like for you guys to share any experiences or like etiquette for in studio experiences, because the relationship with the producer and artist is tricky. It's a little tricky because you're dealing with different animals. You guys, I feel like I've dealt with a lot of artists, I've dealt with a lot of producers, and mentally and like personality wise, they're not the same all the time.
Right, just be present, just be like present, open. Don't try to force, because the more you force, the more tension and the less the energies align to create together. It's just being open, but engaging, looking them in the eye. How you been? How you feeling? Like
literally try to connect, right? Like if you have a connection.
Yeah, but
that's where music
but then just
like
you said, try to connect. Some people will be like, oh, I connect like this, and then but sometimes saying how you been can be like weird. You just gotta like be present and read the room, automatically express well, like be I guess that flows from being confident yourself and just being sure about what you do, what your role is.
This guy has social skills.
Nah, but it's just like.
Yeah, but I feel like most producers are not so they are socially awkward. Yeah. Like most of the time we are alone on our laptop making beats, no one around us.
But then you learn, You
gotta learn.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn because it helps you. I mean,
helps you grow.
Nobody. I mean, I understand you, but nobody just is. I mean, I could say like I used to be when I was a kid. I was more like I wouldn't just networking. Oh shit, I gotta talk to these. But when you find like
the
confidence, and you're just good by yourself, then everything's just chill.
I hate that stereotype that producers are socially awkward. That I hate that because I met so many awesome producers that sorry.
He's like, I'm social.
But it's like a narrative though. It's like a narrative.
But it is.
Yeah.
I guess
for a lot. At least that's what I think.
I think obviously it overlaps because most of the time, if you love music, for example, and if you're the super outgoing type, you probably fall more into the artist category. And if you're more in the, I'll sit here and work on this, I fine tune this and this and this. You obviously came from the being by yourself, like figuring something out, being like, but that's what makes producers, It's like, we like to figure it out, but that doesn't mean you can't also like.
But I actually like that they are socially awkward. Most of the time, those are the people that actually have a lot of stories, got a lot of things to tell. When you're gonna sit with them and work with them and know them better and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, my experience with I'm artist, so I'm out there. I'm extrovert, right? But that's what like really drew me to like working with producers in the beginning days, because I felt like they were scared to have their voice heard in the early days. They were scared to like speak out against an industry that kind of just like shunned them away, left them out of the conversation. Guys were like, in the early 2000s, there was no selling beats online, making your own living. Like, you had to like wait for a placement. And that was controlled but just by a few producers in the industry. And sure, the paychecks were really big back then when the music industry was really thriving, but then there was a complete collapse of the music industry. It was piracy, right? No one was paying for music anymore. And we've talked about this in some previous episodes. And when I was working within the music industry early on, prior to starting BeatStars, like all the producers were just like the sweetest people, man. They were like the most humble people, most collaborative people, most positive and but quiet. And I'm like, yo, these dudes and girls like need a voice. They need someone to like stand up and like fight for something, because they're not going to do it. And that's what made me even like fight even harder. And what still drives me every single day to like, you know what I mean? But I love that producers' voices are getting larger, stronger, bigger, and independent, and they're controlling their own destiny. And they're able to kind of like dictate how they want to do it with no rules. You could be the quiet introvert and be successful. You could be the outgoing producer and still be dope as hell and successful, you know? Where do you guys think this whole shit, I mean, it's been almost 15 years we've been doing this shit. Where do you think we're going next? Like, what do you think is like, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to be a hybrid of everything? Are we going to go into the, like, is everyone going to have to be an influencer into the attention economy? Or is everyone going to have to be like a really seasoned marketer to understand like the ad systems and really like build a, you know, it's like, where are we going as independent, you know, music entrepreneurs? It's interesting. Things are changing really fast. Technology is changing really fast. We got AI coming. We got all these new platforms that are, you know, garnering more and more attention from us, and people are distracted. I just would love to hear your guys' thoughts on like, where do you guys feel like the next phase of your energy is always going to be, or is it always just going to be, I'm going to focus on making my best art, and whatever happens after that happens?
I think a lot of producers see themselves as a small company or something right now because of the online game. You can make your own money, of course, by selling this. You get the money directly, instantly. And in the past, just like you said, you have to wait before some label pays you or whatever. And because of the freedom of course, money, the most producers feel like, okay, we can make like a producer club or whatever, and a producer has more producers under him, and they start making bangers for artists or whatever, just like some big names in the online game like Cash Money AP, for example, or
Mantra, right, that we talked about. I think Mantra or something.
No, he means like producers signing producers, and
yeah, right. He does the same thing, right? Like people give him beats. And
similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
But there are like a lot of opportunities now for us as producers because of BeatStars and the online game, the market and everything. And I think it's a good thing.
But what else can we leverage outside of just selling beats? Like, what else can we leverage? I know, Chuki, you're doing a lot of other stuff. Like, where else do you feel like, you know, you're dabbling on which I love, by the way, on the label side. I've always told the producers, like, you are the label.
Yeah.
The best record labels that have ever existed were always run by music producers. Quincy Jones, Dr. Dre, Pharrell. You know, it's like the labels that are run by music producers because they can actually get the creativity going and running and moving, you know?
Yeah, and you know what to look for in artists.
Yep.
But I feel like the role of a record label is really changing to like, because I feel like everything is going towards like, I know what the thought is, but it's hard to like, I haven't been able to like decipher it enough to put it into a concrete sentence, but I feel like the people that are doing the art are getting like the way independent artists are winning right now. I feel like that's happening for every art or creation thing in the world, where through being independent, through having the social media, whatever, you can really like just be in direct contact with the people that enjoy your product or your art or whatever, and make a name for yourself. Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
No, but I get it. It's like it's just maximizing, and maybe it is as simple as like what it is. It's just using that product to connect with everything else.
Yeah.
That one product just connects with everything else, and I don't think that can ever go away.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Just like it's still always about. I mean, back in the days, they didn't have as much opportunity, but it was just about being good. And I feel like now there's more options opened up as far as monetization, whatever. But if you really want to be doing like the top shit, you got to be really, really good.
You guys find yourself like investing in other things too, like property, you know,
Crypto.
I mean, whatever. Like, you guys find yourselves like leveraging what you've earned, what you've made, and then also doing it in more like traditional type of investments to kind of grow your, you know, your earnings in your business too.
Yeah, I mean, always learning, I'd say, because as soon as you start making money and maybe there's no people to give you advice on that, you have to learn some lessons. You have to learn, like, okay, if I make a profit, there's taxes, whatever, can I don't know, make that money work for me and do investments? For example, then, real estate is something crazy, but investing in a business is something sometimes also worth it, or even investing in yourself, because you're as a producer, you're your own business. So now you have to start thinking as yourself, as like a business too, as a producer. Like, is it an investment to hire a space where I can have my music studio by myself so I can be more productive, have artists over? Is that an investment that's worth it for my business? You know, and then you make those decisions and you upgrade yourself, you know, your own.
Like you said, you're your own business. That's what I try to say. Like, when you become bigger and bigger, it feels like you're a company, because I had a guy who kept coming back like almost every month to buy beats, my J. Cole type beats, because he made more like that kind of music. And after a while, he asked, like, can you also make graphic design or something?
Right.
So I connected him with my girlfriend, and she started making
the money in the family.
Yeah, she started making the art for his singles.
Right.
And that's how you actually start creating jobs for the people around you. Like something that I really think it's interesting. Let's say you're a big art producer, and you work with a few artists that doing good, or at least have some potential. You can start making clips for them, or if you know someone.
Right, that's literally how my 32 Worldwide record label in Belgium started, because I was working with artists, and we was like, oh shit, we're doing what a label would be doing, but we're just doing it out of like, yo, let's build something, just real culture happening, where just new people started rapping. I was already doing my shit online on BeatStars, so I was the go-to person for when people in Belgium started to, I mean, not all people, but a lot of artists in Belgium started rapping. Oh, Chuki Beats, and then this culture really started going, and now that's really like opened up already a lot, but there's still a cap on like how big, you know, Belgium is or something.
Yeah, I mean, I see producers setting up services on the platform for graphic design, mixing, mastering. One thing, Freek, that I noticed that I think you've always kind of like really specialized in this, and or just made it part of your repertoire, is like doing beats with hooks too. And I've you know, there's times where, you know, as an artist, I'm like, I'm maybe not inspired to write a hook, or maybe I'm not the right voice for a hook, and it's great to give, especially aspiring and up-and-coming artists, a head start into what a song could sound like. When did you start taking like beats with hooks serious, and when did you? And has it been always successful for you?
Remember at the ADE, the panel, I told the guy like a niche. You gotta have a niche,
right?
I started uploading beats with hooks to YouTube, and at a certain amount of time, I noticed that people gravitated more towards the beats with hooks, because YouTube's algorithm supposedly is heavily based on retention as well. And if you have a dope hook, a good hook, people, I think, tend to listen for longer. So I think that's why the YouTube views piled up for that specific keyword. And you know, once you actually see that, and then you start to
but
more
that's
beats with hooks, more beats
crazy.
with hooks.
Because that's what I mean with like, because if you tell people to find the niche, sometimes I think like they'll start overthinking finding it, but just as you said,
you just gotta put out content,
and then you notice, and then you go. That's
exactly.
That's how you play the game. You know.
How do you find who to collaborate on hooks? Like, how do you go about that? Do you let's find independent artists, or some of these artists maybe previous customers, or like how do you work out? Because a lot of producers are like, okay, cool, he has a beat with a hook, but you know, people don't understand like the inner workings. Are you doing like work for hire contracts with the hook artist, or do you share revenue with them? Like it'd be cool to interesting.
Both.
Okay, both.
Yeah,
depends
both.
on the artist.
Yeah, it depends on the deal they want to work out. I mean, sometimes they just want to be paid up front. I mean, they don't have any faith in these tracks actually, you know, selling and getting them any financial means. So that they want to take the money up front. But sometimes they say, no, let's split. Let's do a split.
I have a cool story about beats with hooks. And there was an amazing artist I discovered a few years ago. Her name is Brianna Marin. I don't know if you know who she is. And she was selling, you know, songwriting services on this other website. And so I had hired her to do hooks. And she didn't know nothing about BeatStars. She was like, I don't know nothing about this. Who is this guy, you know? And my strategy was I was going to connect her with producers. First, I kind of went through and looked at the top selling beats on the platform, and I wanted to see if any of them had hooks. And even if they were older beats, I said, yo, there's always a couple beats in the catalog, right? There's always a couple that will feed you for a couple years, right? There's always a couple beats in the catalog that just resonate, right? That just resonate, and it just connects with people. And I'm like, yo, like how dope would it be if we just reintroduced those dope beats? We did it a lot with Mantra. We did it a lot with Dream Life. We did it with Yondo.
You did one with me.
I did one with Accent. and it was probably your top
Dreams.
One of his top one of your top beats.
Yeah.
And it was a strategy that I was doing. I just want to see how it would work. And those beats with hooks ended up generating hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some of them actually ended up earning more than the original track without the hook, which was crazy to me. And now she is the most featured artist on Spotify. She's the most featured artist on Spotify. If you go on Spotify and search Brianna Marin, she's got thousands of songs with your beats and other people's beats with her featured on it. And it's crazy. She's the most featured artist on Spotify. That's crazy. Shout out to Brianna. She's going to get on this show soon. But
that's crazy. So
I forgot I did that with you. Can you share a little bit?
Like Brunette, I was like, I know the name. And then it clicked, like, she did the hook on the Dream Beats because it was going viral on YouTube. It has now like 5 million views or something.
Right.
And it kept selling. Still, till this day, it keeps selling. So it was
How many sales?
strategy.
How many sales? How many sales?
I don't know, man. I have to check.
So how many sales?
Probably a six-figure beats. It's probably a six-figure beat, you know.
That's nice.
Right? So
right.
I mean, it's dope. It's dope. You know, I think reintroducing tracks with hooks after you've seen that they're popular, is always great strategy.
That's
always great strategy.
Smart.
Yep.
I was always wondering who's doing beats with hooks, because I never like thought, oh, let's do that. It's something I never, you know, something I never thought of. Like
it's
fire.
You already have the catalog.
Yeah, it's fire. But
right?
so you just like make the beat and then book an artist.
Well, let me give it some context. I started out, you know, when submitting to labels, it's better to give an impression of a song.
Right.
So when you write hooks hooks already written, you stand a better chance basically because they already, you know,
they get the vision.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
Okay, cool.
That's the idea. And when they decline, I usually upload them on YouTube.
Okay.
And that's
cool.
That's the idea.
Yeah, it's nice.
Freek, you got I don't know, you got some songs coming out with one of my favorite artists, and I used to represent him and distribute his label.
In Grooves,
Tech Nine. And I don't know, do you have some stuff with him on some upcoming music that's coming out, or is this stuff that's already been released with Tech?
Both actually. I think he's dropping. He's supposed to still drop a video for a song from his last album. And the video is shot. It's ready. Yeah. But it's not out there yet. But Should have a few on his new album as well.
He's an independent legend, man. He's an independent legend.
Yeah,
You know,
true.
like I want to open up the floor to kind of any topic that you guys like was on your heart that you guys want to cover because we can get into beat selling all day. We could talk about consistency. We could talk about strategy, but like sometimes there's some. I know, Daxon, you were saying like there's some things that you wanted to talk about that sometimes could be the ugly parts of doing business, the ugly parts about, you know, selling online or the music industry that, you know, maybe whoever's watching this needs to hear.
Yeah, about selling beat. Maybe something about loopmakers and sample makers. I had a problem with someone who was sending me like over a year. He kept sending me loops, and I liked them, so I used them.
Right.
I made like a lot of beats with his loops, and always 50-50 split. Nothing on the hunt.
Nothing going on.
Nothing going on. But I had a placement with Nines, a UK rapper, and after the release.
Big name too, by the way. Nice.
Yeah, he's nice. Shout out Nines. And the real loop maker, the one who made the loop, it was from someone else. So I was the bad guy. They thought I stole the loop.
Right.
So I went back to the one who sent me the pack.
Right.
And I sent the exact pack to his manager of the producer who told me like, what the fuck is going on, this, that. He told me it's exactly the same loops, the same names, everything. So I thought like, damn, I was making all those beats with his loops, but they were from another guy. So I took off all his beats and removed him, of course. And
that's scary, bro. That's
scary.
scary.
That's some fucked up shit because I had to talk to the lawyers of Nines, his team,
right?
His
Because you
label.
can get him into trouble.
Yeah, of course. But after a while, I fixed everything without any big trouble or anything, and I still owe my own percentage, and the other got his share. So yeah, that's. Check before you work with
vet the source. Vet the source.
Yeah, check.
And I'm someone like I don't care how big or small you are. I want to work with like everyone who has good sounds. I work with. I don't care.
Right.
Like you have producers that be like you have to pay me, so I use your loop or something. I don't like that because I'm just like.
Yeah,
why
same.
not? Why?
It's
they
fire,
actually
let's
helping
go,
you.
like,
They did.
Yeah,
some
they're
work.
helping you,
Yeah.
bro. That's, you know.
You can help them. They can help you. I'm like, why should they pay me to use them their loops? Like,
Right.
But yeah, that's probably the bigger risk. Is it authentic? Is it original?
yeah,
Isn't it stolen?
Yeah, but you know,
Interpolation.
I've just got some people on my email list that by now I probably also met them in real life. You know, because if people keep sending me fire loops at a certain point, it's like, yo, let's link or
You got to know who it
let's
is.
cook up. So then, you know, we there and
and I
from
ask
that
for
point on.
and I ask for the stamps. Like, put the stamps behind the loop.
Show proof. Show me some proof.
Show me some-
Yeah, show me some proof.
But it also works better.
Do you guys use a lot of samples and loops in your work from other creators? And how do you choose who to collaborate with, who to work with?
Yeah, sometimes I'm a bit too purist in that. Like I want to improve my guitar skills the most and try to make the most fire stuff. So
Right.
oftentimes I use my own guitar the most, but I do use loops as well. I'm always like want to improve.
But
the
it
business.
depends. For me, it always depends because even me, I'm like doing the purest stuff when I'm by myself. But sometimes when you're in a lot of sessions, and some artists, with some artists, I can literally go sit there. I can take my guitar. We can start, you know, making a song in the quote unquote artistic way. But then there's other sessions where you just gotta like, or pull up beats, or just they just the way they work is I listen to loops, then you flip the beat, then we record the song. So a lot of people that I work with work like that. So I just in sessions I use loops by myself. I mostly don't. You know.
That's interesting, Chuki, because I've done that before where I've like worked with a producer in the studio where it was just the loop. And then I kind of helped build the beat with the producer, kind of. So you can. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy like having that artist's voice sometimes hit? You know?
Yeah, you know. So you like, I don't know. So you can like catch a vibe together, like even to the point where it's like if it's your idea to like, oh, you know what? Let's have no drums on this sample. You just rap over this. Then maybe that's that, or we add some organic shit later or whatever. But like I don't know, just like catch a vibe together. I guess
that's dope.
I love loops. They give you inspiration, and they you don't have to spend a lot of time to make it. Like we were talking in the car.
Then you get sometimes you get like, loops that have just been spread around so much.
Yeah, that's the bad part. But like I see a lot of producers say they make like say 20 beats a day or 50 or whatever. I'm that guy that. Happy if I make 1 beat a day. Like, that's a good day for me. If I make 2 or 3, that's like, damn, unbelievable.
You're on fire.
Like,
You're on fire.
I'm on fire.
Go play the lotto. Go play the lotto.
That's the best.
You're slow, bro. I'll make it now.
Let's talk about that, though. There's a lot of producers that crank out.
There's a lot of producers be capping, bro.
Capping, huh?
Just a joke. If you check my TikTok, you think I made 250 beats a day, but it's like obviously not, bro. Like, I mean, there's some people. I see Cash Money AP going fast as fuck on his live stream, going crazy and killing every beat.
Yes, I've seen it. I've seen it in real life. I saw Cash Money AP make 10, 20 beats in like 3 hours.
Yeah, but
and they were all fire.
Yeah, and if that's your vibe, like, let's go. Me sometimes also like I'm more of like I like to sometimes go really deep into like a vibe or whatever. So that's because that's what always when I was a kid, I was going deep in some guitar shit, whatever. Like that's what I love. That's what I love, really.
Yeah.
You know, like
then you guys got
you go on some journey, like this. You know, like it's like what the. Like,
when do you know you're doing too much? When do you know when you're doing too much?
I mean, you know, you feel it, but sometimes you gotta go too far to then okay, no, let me bring it back, and you know,
can be difficult though. Like, sometimes it's difficult to see like now it's the time to chop it up or something, but. Depends.
That's why sometimes it's good to be in the studio with the artist, so you can just like, because sometimes by yourself you can go like, oh shit, you know.
Yeah.
Start getting dreamy.
Yeah.
Adding
I'm gonna make the most craziest beat ever.
How do you work the most? Because I see you just work by yourself the most. You too, and you. What's
same? Likewise, mostly myself.
Okay.
But I have a production partner as well.
Okay.
His name is Nicholas.
It's Nicholas
on the socials and on. BeatStars platform, I think it's X, Make It Bounce.
Okay.
Not sure if you guys are familiar.
No, not. I mean, maybe the name on Instagram. Maybe,
yeah.
But
mostly myself. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. So.
I love calibration, collaborating with other producers. I love it. Like almost all my beats are collabs. Yeah.
How do you choose who to work with though? Like,
I have a few people like on my top list, like always collaborate with them, and sometimes new people just hop in my DMs like, yo, can I send something, or can you send me something or whatever, and why not? Like, why not?
I've seen producers blow up just off of collabing with producers on BeatStars with each other, because they'll have like a big following on BeatStars, and they'll just share their audiences in a way, you know, like Kavi, for example. You guys heard of Kavi? He's like this dope ass sample maker that's got fucking the most collabs on BeatStars. I think he's got the most collabs on BeatStars, and like the primary way of generating revenue for himself is the collabs. It's not from the primary account. It's crazy. It's just he collabs with everybody.
Yeah, I collab with him too.
Do you work with him too?
Yeah,
it's
I love him.
It's fire as fuck.
That's
fucking
yeah.
genius.
What's that?
So the guy makes samples and then collabs with other BeatStars producers, and then they do the collab
With all the top ones, too.
So it revenue splits automatically, and then he just collabs with all of the people that are already selling beats.
Right. Does he give out the same sample to
No, he like
that could be fucking genius.
He was on
All the
the.
top beats is the same fucking sample. All the beats, this guy getting paid. That would be the
He got
finesse.
placements on DJ Khaled, his
Crazy
album and everything.
Fire,
With
sorry.
Just collaborating.
and they all turn into placements
Yeah.
on accident.
I love
It's dope.
But I was working like 4 or 5 years ago with a producer named Bird, and he was small, and after a while, I was bigger than him, but I don't care about who's the bigger or whatever. So I always worked with him, and now he got Bad Bunny placements. He just dropped yesterday a song with Roddy Ricch. He got like crazy placements.
It's crazy. I'll see producers that don't have the bigger following yet just land.
Remove your ego,
For sure.
and just work with everyone who's fire. At
And there's
least
just so much talent, bro. There's just
So what about placements on BeatStars? Do you get it a lot? That actually,
bro, all the time. Like, but we don't. Like, the artists just go on BeatStars and be like, Bad Bunny bought a beat on BeatStars that went diamond.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So there's like
these-
there's pretty lot of these stories like Kyo and
Tons of these stories,
Yeah?
bro. Yeah, I'm sure there's millions more, but no one's gonna admit it. You know, no one's gonna say I discovered it. You know, the artists are very, you know, they don't want to they don't want to talk about where they got the sauce from. But
Yeah, that's such.
you know,
I mean, I understand it, but it's also like, bro,
Yeah.
come on.
no, I mean, it's not a coincidence. Every week you look at the placements every week, and it's like half the albums are all BeatStars producers. It's not a coincidence, bro. It's not a coincidence. The BeatStars producers are powering the whole game right now.
It's fire.
The whole game. Like every album that comes out is producers that I know on the platform. Every album, every major album. You know what's crazy?
I didn't know.
You
I didn't know.
You know what was
That's right.
crazy? You know what was crazy? I knew that shit was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Now, that's not even crazy because you knew it.
I knew it, dog.
Yeah.
I knew it.
That's what I'm saying.
I knew it, dude. I knew it because it was like, it was just common sense. It's convenience
For you, but that's why you was the person that built it
Right.
and made it happen.
It was just convenience,
But
bro. It's
for
convenience.
you, that was your calling.
I guess. I
Fucking
don't know.
crazy.
I don't know.
That wasn't obvious for a lot of other people. A lot of other people would have said, "Nah, that's not obvious."
Right.
You said it was
they
obvious.
laughed at me. You know, they laughed at me. I mean,
Exactly.
the labels laughed.
So you saw it.
They used to laugh at me. And you know what I used to tell them? I said I used to tell them, there's going to be a point that I shouldn't say this. BeatStars is going to replace the A&R.
Yeah, bro.
I hope so.
I knew.
I hate
like,
A&Rs, man.
You know, I just
shout out-
A&Rs.
Shout
Like,
out all A&Rs tapping.
You know, shout out to real A&Rs that are actually locking in and
Shout
doing
out.
things.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I don't hate them.
But the ones that are just like, you know, just I don't know what the fuck they're doing, to be honest with you, because the artists are connecting with their own producers. The artists they're curating their sound. They're not waiting for someone else to tell them what their sound is going to sound like. You know what I mean? A true artist doesn't wait around for anybody. When they feel inspired, they go straight to the source. And right now, it's the BeatStars app. You know what I mean?
Yeah, every placement I had is literally like directly contact with the artist himself.
Always.
No A&R or some manager or whatever ever DM'd me like, yo, my artist wants some beats. So always the artist
Always,
himself.
dog. Always.
Yeah.
Always. I mean,
With
That's
Twitter, Instagram.
That's a good organic way as well, right? Like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
really,
Best
I
way.
mean, connect as well, right? Like to.
I remember P-Dub, you know, P-Dub cooking, you know, P-Dub. He's like, bro, Roddy Ricch DM, he messaged me on BeatStars when he was first coming out. He didn't even have a big song yet. He bought like 2 beats from him. He's like, I wish I knew that he was gonna be this artist. And I always
So you
tell
can't be sleeping.
no, that's what I'm saying. So I always tell producers, I'm like, guys, that next big artist is already in your inbox buying beats. They're already doing it, bro. You got to connect with every one of your customers. You got to lock in. You got to find out what they're doing with your beats.
That's why I check where they home.
Exactly.
You see a big ass house and go, hey, let's go.
No, but I mean that's not completely true though, because you know it's not completely true. It's just keeping a tab on your music, and that's why we did Beat ID. Beat ID, is going to be, we're changing the pricing on Beat ID. It's going to be less than $2 soon, where you could just drop a beat and you'll find where everyone's using your beats across TikTok, YouTube, and all that. That's just important, bro. Yeah. That's just important. We already had a couple producers find that they had a #1 hit in China off of Beat ID. They didn't even know. They had no clue. They had no clue. But the next star is sitting in your inbox right now. The next Denise is sitting in your inbox right now. Yeah. The next artist, like, cultivate those relationships, harness those relationships, because even if it's in an automated way, even if it's it doesn't have to be like I got to reach out to every single customer. It could be like what Chuki's doing on his YouTube, just giving advice, doing this, sending an automatic email out to people. You're providing value. You're like, oh damn, Chuki cares about my recording setup. He's giving me tips on this. You know what I mean? It's psychologically, like, artists, especially the younger ones, they kind of look to you guys as as their guide in the music industry. They don't know what to do next, and so I always tell producers, you have a great opportunity to really guide artists, help them throughout their career, and then, eventually be a label. Work with 1 or 2 of them, produce their albums, release it commercially, put it out, collaborate, and the more opportunity, the more ways you can serve that artist community, the more loyal and like locked in they're going to be with you, So I think there's a lot of room to extract all that data that's already in your accounts that you could just download and figure out a strategy on how to like build those relationships, and it will change your whole, like, you don't know an opportunity unless unless there's some sort of like action taken. You don't know. You could be sitting on there could be someone in your email box right now that's got a platinum song you don't even know about.
Yeah.
Can I change the topic?
Yeah, change it.
Yeah, I want to talk about something I struggled with, because there was a time I was going crazy with the sales and everything. And when it dropped, I was looking like, what are my options to promote my beats and everything. And I started trying to be creative. So I found a website. You can buy Instagram comments, fake Instagram comments, but you can customize them.
Right.
So I bought like 1,000 comments or whatever, and I customize them all, and I send all those comments to the Instagram of Drake, his manager. What's his name?
Oliver.
So so he checked me out and he blocked me. But I thought at that moment, like I did the smartest thing. And even though if he sees that it's fake, maybe he respect the hustle and be like, yeah, maybe they. But that's like for everyone who's watching, don't do that. Don't do that. I learned from it, but. At that time, I was like, damn, maybe I found a loophole to get attention.
I was listening to the story and I was like, shit, this is going to turn out like, and then I ended up, I was like, shit, bro.
So you were sending the bots to the real manager? The real,
yeah.
Oh, so you were trying to get his attention.
Yeah,
somehow.
and then he blocked him.
And he blocked your ass.
Because I thought like, how can I compete with all these producers and everything, and how can I promote my
Let me just flood.
And I was like, if I get a big artist or whatever,
I mean, hey,
that's the best marketing.
Sometimes you gotta shoot your shot, bro. Yeah. Sometimes you gotta shoot.
What did the comments say though?
Hey, Accent makes great Drake type beats or whatever, like. Everything like something like that. Right. But I'm still blocked, by the way. But
what's his name again?
Oliver. Yeah,
Oliver. Listen, Accent Beats is a really good dude. He didn't mean it. He was just trying to get Drake's attention. He actually makes great music for Drake. So if you're watching this podcast, please unblock the man.
And after that, hit up Chuki. No, shut up.
No, but I was thinking about maybe I took it too far and went for Drake. Maybe for a smaller artist it would work and something, but I was like, nah, fuck. Before I get blocked by everyone on Instagram.
Okay, let's get into the lessons part of the podcast. Like, what are some other lessons that you guys tried, like some marketing techniques or anything that you've done that you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't. That didn't work out well for me. Is there anything that you guys could share?
I got like making a tutorial on a genre you just discovered that you didn't thought was gonna be so big 2 years later, and with your video getting like 3 million views, but you didn't know, not knowing too much about the genre, you know, shit like that. Feel me?
It's like your reputation at the line.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, y'all don't know. I just woke up that day. It was like, oh, let's make a tutorial about, and then just looking at this, doing the tutorial real quick, leaving, going to the studio. A year later, oh, it has 2 million views. Oh fuck, you know. And then,
damn, did you take it down eventually?
Yeah, I took it down.
Took it down. He's like, yeah, I took it down. I feel like you, man. But hey, you got 2 million views on it.
At the same time, it was still like helping people,
beginners,
you know, beginners.
Yeah.
But it's just like, that's why I was like, I've been like back and forth.
Was it someone in the comments? Was someone in the comments?
I mean, there's
like,
sometimes people in the comments. Then there's like your own. I don't know. Like, I know I'm able to make this level, but I made it in the simplest way for beginners. But maybe not everybody looks at it like that. And how do I want to be seen? That comes into the.
You guys worry a lot about like the outside noise a lot. Do you guys worry about? Do you pay attention to the outside noise too much, or is there, you know?
As long as you know you make your best music.
Yeah,
what doesn't matter, right? Like, people can hate all they want, but if you know, I mean, if you try something that you are a bit new to, maybe then it can be like, if someone says like, this is shit if you try like a new genre or whatever. But if you know, like, you make like the best shit you can do, like, what can I say? Like, you made.
Have you dropped some beats? Have you guys dropped some beats? You're like, this is probably not my best work, and you kind of saw there wasn't a lot of engagement on YouTube from it, or there wasn't a lot of sales from it on BeatStars, and you're like, damn,
but sometimes you're a bad judge as well, you know.
Oh, for sure.
When you think they will underperform, they might actually overperform. Like it's sometimes it's hard to estimate the value.
And sometimes performance doesn't always equal.
Potential.
Artistic value,
or
artistic value,
or whatever. Even if it's like, if you talk about beats, it can be like that. Or if you're talking about YouTube video IDs, I could think like, oh, this video, but maybe somewhere out there of the 2 million viewers, there's 50,000 people that was like, oh, bro, this video started off my search into going deeper into this genre, and then you still like helped and contributed and whatever. So sometimes like, you know.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you guys this. Producers are the worst judge of their beats. They're the worst.
Nah,
they're the worst judge of their beats.
How do you mean? How do you mean?
Okay, so like, few producers. You brought up Mantra earlier. Mantra's an example. Like he'll upload. Sometimes I'll listen to some of his beats before they're released, and I'm like, that one's gonna be the one. He's like, no, that's not the one. And he'll put out one, like he'll get my feedback. This is years ago. He'll get my feedback. I'm like, no, that's the one. And he'll put out something else that he thinks is the best beat from that group, and it'll be the lowest performing one. It'll be the lowest performing one. You guys are bad judges of what beat is going, like what artists really.
Not true.
No, for real, because you guys make it, because you guys are making too much of it. You're not. Sometimes you don't know like a full
But
judgment.
if something's fire, you know, like
you know. Okay, all right. Okay, fine. You guys know when it's fire.
That doesn't necessarily mean this will get a lot of sales. But sometimes something's just like fire, you know, like just like you're gonna play this for every producer. Everybody's gonna be like,
Yeah.
The producers might like it.
You know, but I mean, just
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe producers.
I hate every beat I make.
You hate
Like after one day,
Negative, bro.
no,
That's a good attitude, bro. That's a good attitude.
but it's the truth. Like I make it, I begin first 10 minutes. I'm making the beat. I feel it like okay, nice.
Then you start hating
And
it.
after, because I work too long on one beat. Sometimes I begin like in the morning and I finish it like 8 o'clock or whatever, and I'm like,
This
fuck
shit
this
trash.
beat. Yeah. But I still upload it because,
Yeah.
like you
It's
said,
not up to you. It's not up to you whether someone likes it or not. It's not.
I
up
still
to you.
upload it
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I try to remember the feeling before I
Right.
hated it.
Yeah. I mean, Young Keo said it when he uploaded the beat for Old Town Road. He's like, I didn't even like that beat. He's like, I was debating whether he was gonna upload it. He said, you
But
just don't know, guys.
There's a difference, I think, between having heard your beat so many times that you start to like hate it, or
Right.
like
Knowing
hating it
that's
because of it.
yeah,
Because of what
because
it
something's
is.
trash. You
Yeah.
know, like
Because-
you know when something's trash. I mean,
I oftentimes like listen to.
you know, you know.
You can't make
don't-
trash.
you
You
don't
guys
know.
can't make trash. It's not possible. It might be
Yeah.
trash to you,
I mean-
but it might be good for someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you like separate yourself from, falling in love with it too much? Because
Yeah,
you
that's-
said you keep listening to it over and over, but like as a owner of a business that's creating products that you kind of have to let go of it pretty quickly. You can't keep falling in love with your art all the time. Like, do you guys ever find yourself having that? Maybe that's what you're doing. Accent is like you're saying in your mind, I hate every beat, because you're letting go of that bitch. You're like, I'm letting go of this. I have to
everything
move
I
on
make.
to the next
I
one.
love it. I love it.
You love listening to your stuff?
I love everything I make. I don't hate. Sorry.
I know, but do you obsess
I-
over it? Do you
I
get to the
literally
point?
like-
Yeah.
You can't sit there and obsess over it too long. You know what I mean?
That's always the thing. Like I always, when I make a beat, somehow I always listen to it till I hate it or something. Like I said, not hate it in a because of the beat, but just because you heard it too much.
That's all music, though. No.
Yeah, it's true.
You listen to everything until it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
and then you forget it for a while, and then you listen to it again. It's like, oh,
yeah. Then it's like, oh shit.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, I also noticed that producers sometimes they forget about like one simple business strategy that is like just fucking common sense, but whatever. Maybe not everyone gets it. Is that content could be evergreen. Content could be evergreen. So that Dreams beat that Accent was saying still sells to today. I guarantee you, if he features that beat again, one more time at the top of his profile, or does an ad campaign around it to an audience that's never heard that beat before, they're going to fall in love with it the same way. There's just some beats that are just home run hitters. Don't matter what day of the week it is, what year it is. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Those are home run hitters, and you got to lead with the fire before you capture a new audience to check out the rest of your catalog. So I always see producers like, no, I don't. That beat's too old. I don't want to keep promoting it. I don't want to keep putting. I don't want to feature that. I don't want. And it drives me nuts because it's like, yo, if you got a fucking iPhone, the best iPhone, the most souped up one, the one that's always selling, and you're just like, I don't want to feature that shit.
It's a curse of being an artist. Bro.
Right.
I mean, curse and a blessing. I mean, so at the end of the day, you gotta be like, I don't know, find that middle ground between
Yeah.
loving your art and selling it. as
Yeah,
well.
for sure. For sure. Freek, did you ever find yourself
It's a fucked up name to say if you're American, though.
Freek?
Freek.
Freek?
Freek. Okay.
Freek the Freak.
Freek.
It's like Lake.
Yeah,
Lake,
Lake,
Lake or Drake,
Freek,
but
yeah,
with
Drake, yeah,
initial
Drake,
FR.
Freek, yeah.
My
like-
bad, bro.
It's
No
all
worries.
good. It's all good.
So hard.
No worries, no worries.
It happens all the time.
Does it?
It happens all the time.
No. It's no problem. It's just like
hard.
I have a pretty
Tantu's name is Tune.
yeah, tone. That's hard. but my
dude,
name,
always
my
dude,
name,
dude,
my
dude.
name, mine. I got a Nigerian name. My name is Osayuki. So
Osayuki.
whenever I tell that to a Belgian person, they go like, they don't even
Japanese.
try.
Sure. My name is Ibrahim. No one's gonna say Ibrahim,
Yeah.
so
So like,
we just shorten it up. But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like to see you guys try to say my real name.
I never knew
Ibrahim.
your name was Ibrahim.
You didn't know that?
No, man.
Okay, now you know, man.
I got a friend named
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right,
UK
cool.
friend.
So people know that name. I thought no one know how to say that name. Okay.
It's a pretty regular name around here. I
Regular name.
think. Isn't it?
That's right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, we have a lot of Moroccans here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
When you come to America, no one. There's no Ibrahims around there, bro.
Over here there is.
We call them EB.
Ebe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back. I was saying, like, do you find yourself holding on to those home run hitters and figuring out ways to like remarket them and make sure that you find a new audience for those tracks, or do you always move on to the next one too?
I move on to the next one as well.
You do, huh?
But I do list the top sellers usually on the top of the page.
You do,
Like they're easier to find.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So you lead with that,
Yeah. If there's
right?
exactly.
Yeah, like 9 out of 10 times when producers hit me up, they're like,
If they resonate and then you wanna
that's it. I mean, even
Put
in
them on
like
top.
in an ad campaign, they'll say, "Hey, how do I advertise my beats?" I'm like, just advertise your top 5 hitters. That's it, and then the true fans, true customers will come and check out the rest of your catalog. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay. Is there any other topics we want to get into? Let's see.
I mean, like, I'd like to know y'all
Yeah.
like goals, as in like maybe 2-3 year, or like maybe like what's the end goal? Like what's the, I don't know if you know the end goal. What's like what's next? Like what's next for y'all? What's next for you? What's next?
For me,
Or like main thing you're trying to do right now?
right now is just to be honest, to bring my sales back up, and that's maybe something good for the audience listening. Like, I got a lot of followers on YouTube and BeatStars and everything, but that doesn't always mean like you're doing good. Like, you keep doing good and getting sales and all.
Right.
You must keep working and try new things and promote your stuff, and that's something. That's a mistake I made, because when I was doing super well, I didn't send them to my Instagram account, or I didn't build an audience outside of YouTube or BeatStars.
Right.
And
Did you when you started getting that success, Accent? Did you start releasing less? Did you start being
no? But I feel like I made a mistake of not sending people to my other socials. To just, let's say you're doing well on YouTube, and you send everything to Instagram. Let's say YouTube drops down a little bit. You have audience on Instagram, so you can keep promoting your beats or whatever.
Yeah,
And-
but they probably don't even convert that well. YouTube probably converts way better than Instagram.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, you want your audience
Email,
just to
bro.
be spread.
I mean,
like,
I guess the
email.
general thing is what you're saying is just like, because there's always like
Waves.
momentum and
Yeah.
waves, and when the wave's there, you gotta just maximize
yeah.
the way you're leveraging it. So getting
That's
people to
something
your
I didn't
socials,
do.
or selling something, or promoting your brand, or getting email lists, or preferably all the things at the same time. But like doing the most of that wave that is coming your way, because it's always, I mean, in my experience of life, it's always it's up, but it's always a bit like. With this, there's momentum sometimes in the air, and when that's there, you gotta bow, 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 bow.
What's like one of you like?
Or do you guys agree or not? Like,
I agree. That's
It's
something
consistency.
I didn't do.
yeah.
you gotta surprise every so often. You have to kind of like get unconventional sometimes. You can't just always run with the same campaign, with the same methods, with the same thing. Like sometimes you gotta do something out of your comfort zone and surprise your fan base, or surprise your customer base with something that maybe you haven't done. It could be, you got to shock people, bro. Like there's so much shit being released every single day. Like how are you going to stand out even though you do have a following, right? I mean, of course, if you're not engaging via email or SMS to your base, controlling that communication, that's going to be hard if you're just relying on IG and all these other platforms. You have to. I think that there's a study, right? Like it takes 11 points of impression before someone makes a purchase. 11 points of impression. I got to listen to that beat at least 11 times before I make that purchase. Sometimes it takes 30 days. Sometimes it takes 45 days. Sometimes it takes 6 months. And so, like, how are you constantly working in those multiple points of impression? It's creating a secondary YouTube channel. It's creating, a call to action value add in an email. It could be an SMS. It could be something. It could be, you have to figure out ways to.
Could be fake comments.
It could be fake comments. It could be fake comments.
2,000,
But like, what are
9,000.
some like, guys? I know we talked about beat selling and online and stuff, but you guys have produced some like amazing shit for people, and I want the world to know. Like, I want the world to know, like, you guys are not just like independent entrepreneurs. You guys are cultural tastemakers. You guys have produced some fucking amazing music for so many amazing artists, and I want you guys to like tell the world like what are some of the most proudest moments of songs that are in your guys' catalog that you've worked on. I'll start with you, Freek.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean,
Specifically.
is there any like big notable songs that you're just that?
Yeah, songs that you feel like it's time to flex a little bit.
Yeah, it's time to flex a little bit,
it's
man.
just
Like, you guys are not just like, everyone puts us, the online beat maker, in this like box. You guys are shifting culture, man. You guys are shifting culture, and so yeah. What are some? I know you've worked with some amazing artists. I have them written down, but tell the world like who are some of those artists that you work with, man.
Let them know.
Most well known is probably 21 Savage. Tech 9, we've been doing stuff with Tech 9 for like 7 years.
Yeah,
He's been coming back.
dope.
Yeah, that's dope. Shout out to Tech 9 for,
Believing in the vision.
Exactly. Who else? Kid Ink, Money in the Power. You might have heard the song. Western, their initial single is a UK West London act. It's called Into. 2 Chainz indirectly. I mean, we didn't produce for his record, but he featured on the Tech 9 record.
Dope.
B.O.B. as well. T.I. Who else? I don't know. That's probably it.
These are icons, bro. These are legends.
Yeah.
You guys
Fire.
work with
Crazy.
legends.
And how, like, was it all through, like, indirect, or like did you also send it directly to them, for example, or?
With Tech 9, it's more of like a direct connection. But the others were mostly placed through management or indirect, middleman, basically.
Like people you collaborated with or something? Or?
Yeah, or A&Rs, or managers, or on their side.
Oh, so there is some
Stuff like
A&Rs that still. Okay.
There's,
That's still the wave, right? That's still the
yeah,
way.
A&Rs are still doing their jobs.
Yeah. Because I haven't really, like, in the last years, really focused on the US game. I mean, not really focused just because I was.
No, but it could be dope big artists that you worked with out
Yeah,
here.
but at the same time, it does matter. Like, the US is still like it's still like no.
It's a new world now. Everyone's sharing culture.
I mean,
now.
it's still my like. There's a thing I have to still do.
Those are your goals.
That
Yeah.
for me personally, But I don't know. I feel like, yeah, the US is still like that. It's got especially for a hip hop producer.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
I feel like it still got that.
Primary mark, basically.
Yeah, it's still like, bro, yeah,
It's still like that's the
Shout
goal.
out to all the other artists,
Right.
Around the world, but still
Right.
the US like they set the trends,
They created the sound, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those guys like pushed the sound initially.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean they pushed it to the level
Yeah. Worldwide.
where it is right now, Yeah,
The French market really innovative as well, though.
yeah. The French market is also crazy, like, and how crazy in France there's some rule. I don't know the exact rule, but there's some rule that a certain percentage of the music on the radio has to be from France.
I love that.
Because, for example, in Belgium we don't have that. We just hear US shit
Oh, just US
all the
music.
time. I mean, there's not a lot of Belgian artists.
I think that's dope.
What's dope?
I think it's dope that the radio has to play a certain percentage of artists from France.
Yeah, it's
How do you uplift?
Why would you force that? For me, that was like a reason. Like, okay, we should do our best as Belgian artists to make better music, to just be the people that people want to listen to on the radio. You know, the fact that we listen to US shit is because we're not making.
But that's what's dope about the
music.
producer, though. That's what's so dope about the producer. Like you could be a producer that gets their record played in France, in all these territories, and you know you're powering that sound, so you don't fall under that restriction probably because the producer doesn't get restricted, right?
Exactly. So yeah, there's a lot of markets that are really interesting, especially like if your sound, for example, is a little bit more street or whatever, you maybe focus on the French market because there's a sound going on in France, for example, that can go hard in France, but in the US right now would never work. Like you can have, I don't know if you know French artists like Jules or shit like that. You can never make those beats for US artists. Maybe you could start a wave after a long effort, but the US is not on that sound right now. You know, same as the more Latin American sounds are not as big in France as, for example, the African sounds or whatever shit like that. You know,
I mean, right now in America, Afrobeat, reggaeton, like, is blowing the fuck up.
Yeah.
It's taking over.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Bad Bunny's got to be the biggest artist in America now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Making Spanish music. So, I feel like as TikTok and all these kind of platforms that are enabling sharing of culture and respecting other people's sounds and music, especially TikTok, I'm discovering artists in different languages in the Middle East, in Africa, and I'm like, yo, some of this shit sounds better than the stuff in the States. So I think soon, and you're seeing it even with the Spotify numbers, fans are diversifying what they're listening to. Like, people are tapping into different cultures, and I think we're moving towards a more global music industry where it's not going to be just dominated by just an American sound. Within the next 5 years, I think that's going to change completely.
But it makes sense, though. It's refreshing as well. I mean, the people are kind of tired of the trap.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, shout out to the sound, but it's just sometimes too much of the same.
Yeah. Trust me. I mean, I heard a lot of beats on BeatStars for a long time when that was like the primary wave of music, you know?
Yeah, so that's why it's like...
we need change.
I'm excited also for like the opening up of shit, but I still feel like English is still the language to be the most global, I think. I mean, at least in our part of the Western world, I guess. So in the industry I'm in, English is still like the...
Right. I mean, we're having this whole conversation
in English and not in French or whatever. You know, so...
That's because of you.
I guess so. So we should have got someone to come moderate Dutch and French. I don't know. But guys, I think that's a wrap, man. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. It was an honor being here, sharing this time with you guys.
Thanks for having
opening
us.
up your country to me and being here to learn about you guys. Watching Chuki DJ last night for an audience that was loving his stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the free drinks we had.
Thank you. Thank you for pulling up. Yeah.
But
shout out to our sponsor.
Shout out to the sponsors. Yo, that's a wrap. BeatStars, Pay the Creators, Amsterdam Edition. Bang bang.
Shit. Just throw the love, man.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Appreciate y'all.
Not paying the creators is a no-no. I got the smoke road for all the fan bands.